Well, it's time for another midnight update. As you can see, I have the engine and transmission mounted back in the car. I have the upper firewall section tacked in place. And what I was working on is the electrical. And as you can see, I have this barrier strip, or whatever you want to call it, 10 circuit log, bus log basically. So this is 7 conductor 14 gauge trailer wire running all the way to the back, and I have it landed here on the bus bar. And I also have the fuel pump and fuel sending unit landed right there. So with this, once I get the fuse block mounted, which will be somewhere in the same general area, then I can just, drop down and land what I need to, where I need to, make it a whole lot easier. And, okay, so we got the fuel pedal, which is kind of loose and wonky. I'm going to have to take that off to finish doing the welding that I have to do. I also have the brake switch. It took me 2 hours to figure out how to get that brake switch working properly. I ordered 2 of them, and they were NOS AMCO brake switches because I didn't want any problems, and they were both glitchy, probably because they're both so old. Yeah, imagine that electronic stuff not working after 30 years. Anyway, so I got that worked in, and that runs up here. So I will get that tied in when it's all ready. I had to disconnect the emergency brake because it just was not acting right after I put it in place the first time. So I got the cable all cleaned up with brake fluid, and I'm going to use a new lubricant, and hopefully that will make it work a whole lot easier. So there's that. Still need to plumb the front brake lines, but the rear is all done. Okay, now back to the front to show you the interesting, exciting part. Like I said, I got the engine back in place and got the firewall tacked. I'm gonna have to put a wet blanket over the engine before I finish welding the rest of the firewall. There's my oil bath air breather that I'm gonna have to modify to work on that Holley 2-barrel. It's just sitting right there. I ran into another problem, and I didn't consider it when I first placed the engine, when I first located it. There's not enough room on here for a fan because it's going to interfere with the frame. So to alleviate that, I got a short water pump, and I'm going to mount that in, and that way I should hopefully be able to run at least a 13-inch diameter fan. And I'm going to run the shorter pulley, shorter bottom pulley. I'm going to do a 2-belt system, dual belt system, dual pulley on the harmonic balancer, dual pulley on the short water pump, and on the alternator. Alternator I'm going to have mounted over on this side. Going to have the battery mounted right in this location, somewhere around right there. So all the front wiring is going to be running on this side, and it should all turn out just fine, I hope. Yeah, I'm sure it will. So anyway, that's what I've been messing with. And it's getting late. I'm going to call it a night. But there she is. So, oh yeah. And I know I mentioned what this is on the first video, but it's been like a year and I haven't really, some of you may be wondering. Behind this, that is the original Made in United States of America tag, what's left of it. And I'm going to preserve that. I have it clear coated, so nothing's going to damage it any further. And so when I do paint the firewall, I'm going to keep this section all the original paint that it is. And so that's why it's covered with tape right now, is just to keep it protected until it's ready. So yeah, so there it is. I still need to paint the exhaust manifolds and get the exhaust all fitted up and put together. Yeah, that should probably be the next step, is working on the exhaust or welding the firewall. We'll see. So anyway, there it is. So like, share, subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Yeah, and my cat's crying to come in. Cat. There she is. Penelope, little troublemaker. Yeah. Okay. Say goodnight.